You ever wanted something so badly you could taste it, only to find out it was completely different once you finally got your hands on it? Well, today we're going to dive into an ancient fable that unpacks that exact feeling. It's an incredible little story about hope, reality, and the powerful, sometimes tricky ways our own minds build the world we see.
I mean, of course you have, right? It's a totally universal feeling. We see that shiny new job, or that perfect person, or that dream city way off on the horizon, and we think, that's it. That's the answer to everything. But what happens when that distant sparkle finally comes into focus and the reality is, well, something else entirely?
This feeling is nothing new. In fact, it was captured perfectly thousands of years ago by Aesop, the legendary storyteller from ancient Greece. And his fable, it starts really simply. You've got two travelers walking along a seashore, just staring out at the vast ocean. And then, a single mysterious object appears on the horizon.
And boom, just like that, the mind starts doing its thing. The first traveler doesn't just see a shape, he sees a whole story. He imagines this grand ship coming back from faraway lands, its hull just overflowing with treasure. His hope instantly fills that empty space of the unknown with the most glamorous thing he can think of.
But as it drifts a little closer, the second traveler chimes in with a more, let's say, grounded take. Okay, maybe not treasure, but still something good. A fisherman's boat, heavy with the day's catch. You see how the fantasy shrinks just a little bit, but the hope, that's still there.
And then, finally, it washes ashore. For one last fleeting moment, their hope just flares up. It's got to be a lost chest of gold. They race towards it, full of excitement, only to discover a log. Just a plain, water-soaked piece of wood. And just like that, the journey from treasure ship to timber is complete. So, what's the real point of this story? I mean, it's obviously not about ships or logs. It's about a mental glitch that all of us share, a cognitive bias that's kind of hardwired into our brains. It's this thing called the illusion of distance, and it's the reason we so often get this journey from expectation to reality completely wrong. Okay, so here's how it works. Our brains have this natural tendency to romanticize what we can't see clearly. The further away something is, and that could be physically or just, in time, the more room our imagination has to fill in all the gaps. And guess what it fills them with? Almost always, it's our biggest hopes and our deepest desires. This really breaks down that central conflict, doesn't it? On one side, you have the treasure ship, this big fantasy fueled by hope and the unknown. And on the other side, the soaked log, the simple, observable, and maybe disappointing reality. But think about that. The disappointment doesn't actually come from the log itself. The hurt comes from the collapse of the beautiful story we built around it.
And this right here is the question the fable really leaves us with. And I mean, take a second and really think about it. How much of your own anxiety or even your excitement is tied to something that only exists in your head? That future event, that person's potential. How many of your treasure ships are actually just logs floating your way?
Because let's be real, this isn't just some ancient problem. This illusion is absolutely everywhere in our modern lives. It quietly shapes our personal goals, our relationships, our careers, and it often leads us way off course without us even realizing what's happening.
In our personal lives, oh man, it's that classic belief that moving to a new city will magically fix everything, right? We completely ignore the reality of traffic and taxes, or maybe it's looking back at an ex and only remembering the highlight reel, the treasure ship moments, while conveniently forgetting the soaked log reality of why it actually ended.
And in relationships, we do this constantly. We meet someone new and we immediately start building this fantasy around them, putting them way up on a pedestal. We're not really falling for them, we're falling for our projection of them. And the inevitable letdown comes when they turn out to be a real, complex, flawed human being instead of the perfect treasure ship we invented in our heads.
Professionally, this is basically the root of shiny object syndrome. We get hypnotized by some trendy new business idea or a prestigious job title, and we just assume it's our one-way ticket to success and happiness. We get so busy chasing that glittering ship on the horizon that we never stop to ask a really crucial question. Is that thing even seaworthy? So if we're all kind of wired to chase these illusions, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, the wisdom in this fable is beautiful because it's not about crushing our dreams. Not at all. It's about shifting our focus away from the fantasy on the horizon and toward the reality that's right here at our feet.
This quote gets right to the heart of it. The real gold we're all looking for. It's not on some distant ship. It's found right here, right now, in the quality of our attention to the present moment, to what is real, what is solid, and what is right in front of us.
So how do we actually do that? Well, it starts with just being honest with yourself. What are the treasure ships you're currently chasing? Next, you've got to find the value in the log, in the reality of the situation. It may not be glamorous, but it's real. It's solid. It can be a foundation. When we ground our hope in what's real, we gain stability, and we can finally start to appreciate the world as it is, not just as we wish it would be.
And let's be really clear here. This is not a call to become a cynic. It's an invitation to become wise. It's about learning to walk your own shore with your eyes wide open, finding the profound richness in what's actually real instead of constantly chasing what's not.
You can think of these as powerful tools for that journey. They're just simple reminders, right? To see things as they truly are, to ground our hope in the now, to free ourselves from our own fantasies, and ultimately to find real peace in the humble truth of what is. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to kind of chew on. What if true wealth has absolutely nothing to do with the treasure you acquire? What if it's simply about learning to enjoy the walk, to find profound beauty not in some distant, imaginary ship, but in the simple, real, and present act of walking on your own shore?